FilmoraPro Video Editor. Advanced editing, effects, and motion graphics made easy. This series of tutorials are going to show you the basics of editing in FilmoraPro from start to finish. Hi everyone, my name is Johnny, and in this tutorial we'll be going over some basic audio editing. We'll learn how to insert tracks, edit the levels, work with keyframes, and use the audio mixer panel. When editing audio, we can use similar tools as editing video. In this case, I have a video on the timeline with its original audio in the first track. I'll be using a second track for background music. We can see the third audio track is called the master track because it represents the level of the entire mix after all tracks are combined. So we can't put audio clips in here, but we can add a new audio track by right-clicking on the name of any audio track and then clicking on Insert Track to create a new track below. I'll use this next audio track to put in some sound effects. To keep things organized, I'll name the audio tracks. To do this, I'll right-click on the audio track name and click on Rename Track. On the meters panel, we have a monitor for the overall audio levels. It will show the loudness of the sound played at that moment, measured in decibels. The meters value goes from 6 to -infinity decibels, which will be complete silence. The louder the sound is, the higher it will peak on our meter. If the audio levels go above 0, we'll have an audio distortion. That will make our audio lose quality and saturate. So we'll always want our audio peaks to stay below 0. To start editing the audio, I suggest using the audio workspace. For this, we'll go to the toolbar and click on View Workspace Audio. For this workspace, we'll have the controls panel on the top left of the screen. Here we can choose the audio levels of individual clips by selecting them and going to Properties, Levels. When we move the slider bar, we'll be adjusting the volume of the clip. A horizontal line on the clip will move up and down as well, showing the level. We can also adjust the levels by moving this line directly. So here I'll put a different value for each clip. We can make the audio levels change along time. For this, we'll use keyframes. A keyframe is a location on the timeline which marks the beginning or end of a transition. This is how it works. We can set a value on a certain time on the timeline. In this example, a low audio level, and then create a keyframe, and then we'll set a different value at a different time on the timeline, and another keyframe will be created. And FilmoraPro will interpolate the value between these two keyframes along the timeline. In my case, I'll do the same with my music audio clip. I will set a lower value, move the playhead until the place where I want to start increasing, click this circle here to create a keyframe, move the playhead until where I want it to stop increasing, and then I'll set a new value. We can hear how the audio levels increase. On the small timeline on the right of the controls panel, we'll see the position of the two keyframes. We can even move the keyframes along the timeline. On the clip on the editor panel, we'll see a graphic of the interpolation. Here we can also move the keyframes to change their position on the timeline and value. We can even create new keyframes by holding Control or Command and clicking on the white line. Then we have the audio mixer panel, which is on the lower half of the screen to the right. It will show an audio monitor for every audio track and one for the master audio track. We can see that every monitor is named as we have named each track. On the left of every monitor, we'll have a slider bar to adjust the gain levels of the complete audio track. This will affect every clip that is on this track, and if we modify the levels of the master audio track, this will affect the entire project. If we activate this icon on the track, instead of seeing the individual clip's gain levels, we'll see a white line for the complete track levels. On the audio mixer, we can also balance the audio to the left or to the right channel, mute a complete audio track, or activate the solo option to adjust it without getting distracted by the sound of the other tracks. We can also click this circle to insert a keyframe for the audio levels of the complete track. If we insert a new track, there will be a new audio monitor for this track. So that's an overall look at audio editing. To learn more about editing in Filmora Pro, make sure to check out our other tutorials in the series. There's no limit to what you can make.